Hello and welcome to the next episode of Build Your Own R2D2, issues 30 and 31 this week. And before we get going, I just want to answer a few questions that I've seen crop up. First question I saw was, do I have the last ring part of the dome? No, I don't. It hasn't been supplied yet. It's not missing. It just hasn't come out yet. I've still got two pieces of the dome waiting, which is very frustrating, but I'm sure it will come in time. The second thing is not really a question and answer, it's more of an answer that you guys gave me. Thank you for reassuring me that my projector last time wasn't broken. I have looked at various links that you guys have sent me and the articles and the blog and stuff like that, and I'm very happy to know that mine isn't broken. I was getting a bit of layer withdrawal. So it's nice to know that that is an issue and then the instructions are wrong and that will be fixed in a later issue. So that is very, very cool. That's why I really like making these videos, so that not only do I get help, but people come into these videos a little bit later on. People in different countries who won't get this R2D2 till months down the line can look at these comments and get reassured that way as well. So thank you very much for that. As well as all the things that we get in issue 30 and 31, we'll need the whole of the leg parts, so make sure you got that ready. We'll also need this wire here, which was supplied in issue 17, so make sure you get that out. We'll also need this infrared cable as well, which again was supplied in issue 17, so make sure you have that out. And we also have this motion sensor, I believe it's just called a sensor, but I think it's a motion sensor, which we got back in issue 20, so make sure you get that out as well. Once again, I really wish that these wires had not come out 13 issues before we have to use them. But there we go, maybe for the next leg it'll be different. Right, so enough waffling from me. Let's get on by looking at what comes in issue 30. So issue 30 comes with this piece here, which is the wheel motor. It is quite a sizable chunk of piece, all metal, quite heavy. Obviously got the motor on the inside of the metal part and then the electronic plugs and ports here. Be careful with this, make sure you don't touch any of these parts as it could damage the motor of R2D2, and if your R2D2 doesn't move then there's no point really in having a fully automated R2D2, is there? So we next get this wheel part here, and to attach the motor it's very simple. It's got a plug here. It's not a full circle. There are two sides kind of shaven off. This does match the hole here. You can see that it has the same kind of connecting part there. So you just match it up so that it fits in really quite well, which it doesn't seem to be doing for me. There we go. So you'll see that it is all connected, and then you angle it in place so that these screw holes here match up with the screw holes like that. And actually the screws that I tried to use in the last video are the ones that you use this time, so you need these screws here. So I'm just going to attach this part now. And there we have it all done, and the screws do fit in very, very nicely indeed. This piece, is very, very sturdy. You also get leftover long screws. I'm wondering if they are for the next leg. If they are, you've probably got a long wait before we get to this stage again, because this is issue 30, so we're looking at issue 60 maybe for when we get the next motor for the next leg. So make sure you keep these long screws safe. If they are indeed for that, time will of course tell. Now the next thing you'll need is these bunch of wires here, and when they are all undone they will unravel, and you just plug the 6 pin part into here like that. Make sure you get it the right way. Yeah, just push that in there so it clicks in there like that, and then of course it will work its way, let me zoom out, work its way throughout the leg, which we'll look at in just a little moment. In fact no, let's look at it now. So this silver piece here that's been very loose, make sure that it gets threaded under that, and then not get caught in the wheel. Thread it all the way through like that. And those are the wires threaded through. In issue 30, you do get cable ties. They will feed through these little loops here to make sure all the wires stay in place. But before you do that, you need to attach the infrared sensor cables, which I'm just going to undo. And you'll see on the infrared cables that you get two different size of connector. The bigger size is the one that you feed through like this, and then the smaller size is left. Make sure you leave some give on the smaller side. It says 135 millimeters in the instructions. That's because it needs to plug into the sensor at the bottom of the foot when we get it. So make sure you leave enough time, enough space for all of that. And of course all these wires as well. Make sure you have enough room and pull them nice and tight when you attach the cable ties. So let me open up these cable ties. I should probably explain. It needs to be, this infrared needs to be 135 millimeters from the first cable tie port, which is there, all the way to the end. And I think that is a little too big. Let me just go get a ruler. Okay, that took a little longer than I thought. You'd think living in a house with two school kids would mean that rulers are everywhere, but clearly not. Right, okay, so from this loop here, you need, this is the ruler I got, by the way. It's not the most stable of things. You need about quite a bit. Yeah, okay. Need about 13.5. You can't really see, but I just want to make sure that I am getting this right so that I don't have less than I need. So then you get one of the cable ties and we just thread it through here. Come on. There we go. This is a little finicky to do. Fiddly, finicky, fiddly. But it'll be worth it. I'm only going to do the one on camera. I'm going to do the other 4 off camera because this does take some time. Okay, there we go. So just double check that we have the right amount of length-ish. Yeah, we do, and then thread it through. Now I know that you didn't really see much of that on camera. Sorry about that. Like I say, it is a little fiddly to do, especially when that piece is all over the place. But these cable ties are genius. I'm really glad that it does come with cable ties, because it just makes the whole process of wiring this thing even better. So I'm going to go away and finish cable tying these parts off, and when I've done that I'll be right back with you. Okay, so here are all the cable ties attached, and then you just need to make sure that you snip off any excess so that it doesn't get in the way. I'm going to be a little tighter. There you go. So that they don't get in the way when you come to put the rest of the leg together, and also make sure that you don't cut any of the wires when you're cutting off the rest of those cable ties. Okay, so the next thing you'll need to do is move that part aside and bring in this part here with this hole. Now you will need the sensor here, still in the packet. Let me just go take that out. Okay, so here we have the sensor that we got in issue 20. We just need to put it into this little cradle hole here so that this part does push through, so it is flush. Okay, so it does go in and it does push through, and you'll see there it does make it flush, and we've got the wire sticking out like this. You will then need to thread through all of the wires of the leg part. It's getting a little fiddly now. I mean, it was fiddly before. It's getting more fiddly. We need to thread through all of the wires, these 2 wires of this leg part, through this part here, like so. Crikey. Try not to destroy your workstation while you're doing it. And then this obviously folds around. Let's do it this way. This is left loose. Does that go under anything? Ah, no, okay. So that's thread through there as well. Okay, so all of those wires have threaded through. That sensor's become dislodged a little bit, so just pop this back in there like that. Get all of this lined up. Silver part out of the way. This silver part has proven to be a right pain in the bum. I guess it'll be worth it when it is in. Line it all up. Is that right? Why isn't that going down? It's this side. Why isn't that going down that side? Yes, okay. Yeah, okay. Ah, one thing I forgot to do is those silver parts. Drat. I do have them here, so make sure that these silver parts go in as well. Poop. Maybe I should have glued these in when I put them in the first time. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to do all this off camera because it is proving a little fiddly, and then I'll be right back with you. Ta-da! Okay, it's finally all in. All the silver parts are installed. We just need to, and you'll see, sorry, the sensor is also flush there. That part goes around it quite nicely. And then to seal it all down, you just get this part, which we did way back when. I think it was in issue 2 or 3. And you just plop all that down on there. Turn it all over. And now it is time to screw it all down finally. So we have one completed leg part at the end of all this. You are given a big bag of screws in an earlier issue. These are the screws you use, so I'm just going to screw them all in now. And when it's all done, it will look like this, all secure. There is a little bit of a ridge, more of a ridge than I was expecting around this part, and the sensor is a little obvious. But, you know, for it to work, you know, these things have to happen. But yeah, very, very, very happy with this. It is incredibly weighty. That motor weighs as much as the rest of the leg, so it is quite balanced. But still, very, very heavy piece. All that's left to do with issue 30 then are attach these ankle parts. Now, the first ankle part you'll need is this part here. As you see, I've already attached one of these extra silver parts. When I made these back in whatever issue it was, I screwed this blue part in incorrectly. So that it had a flat end and the bumpy end was this way. That is not the way to do it, otherwise it will not fit in. You'll see it's got 2 holes there for the 2 plugs, and then it's got like a cutout for that circle part. You need to make sure that you put them in the right way, but they are really easy to undo if you did do what I did and put them in the wrong way. But when they are all done, they will attach there like that. And, oh no, we put this part on first with the ankle bracelet. Make sure it's facing the same angle, obviously, as the rest of the leg. So it just fits in there like that. Swing it around and you'll see that there is a little screw hole there in the metal to attach this ankle part onto. So once again, you get a black screw and you just very carefully go in the middle there just to fasten it to the rib work, to the framework. I know I'm doing this off camera, sorry. But once again, the angle is such that it doesn't lead to that being done on camera very nicely. But you can see the black head of the screw sticking out there. Make sure you have this piece dangling down, and then you attach the rest of the ankle parts that I was just talking about. This part does not go underneath it either. It is just this way around, like so. Yeah. Push that in there, very nice tight fit. You'll see you've got the wires going under there, very nice indeed. This one needs to come out. Hold on. Oh, that is a tight fit. This one needs to come out through the bottom of this piece. otherwise it will get caught. You'll see there's a little kind of slopey ridgy part there for all the wires. Let's see if I can get this done on camera. It should be fairly easy to do actually. Yeah. Okay, so no wires are now caught, and that angle piece is clipped on. Oh, as I clipped it on, it did come loose. I haven't given enough give. So let's take this part off. Try not to make sure I don't damage any of the wires. I'm just going to have to sort this out. Be right back. So part of the reason of setting up this YouTube channel was to help you guys visually, for those of you who find it hard, I should say, following the printed instructions, but also so that I can make mistakes so you guys don't have to. Make sure you have enough give in this wire so that when it's all connected, you can still plug it in really safely. I was short from about a couple of millimeters, but it made a massive difference. So make sure you have that loop there. At this stage, it did require me unscrewing it all, pulling the wires through with the cable ties, and then rescrewing it. So to avoid that happening, make sure you do it right the first time. And I hope that watching this video will alleviate any issues that you guys face. So I'm just going to screw this last ankle part together with the same screws as we screwed the rest of the leg. So let me just go and do that now. And there we have the ankle all attached, looking very, very nice indeed. And that is the end of everything you do in issue 30. Issue 31, believe it or not, does continue from where issue 30 left off. I know it's a little rare for R2D2, but you do get the foot in issue 31, or part of the foot anyway, and we also get another silver part that needs to be slotted in as we build it, which is this piece here. So what you have to do is, oh, I don't think those screws are screwed in tight enough. Be right back. Sorry about that, they weren't screwed in tight enough. Make sure that you screw all of these screws in tight. Now is the time, so that you don't have many seam lines at all. Okay, so you get, you swing the leg around this way, and then you get this part, I believe. So it's the part with the cutout semicircle and all these parts here, and you just place it over the metal part like that, flip it over, and you'll see that it does go through the holes when positioned correctly, and it will sit comfortably in there like that. You then screw it to the metal plate now, again using those black screws. So it is nice to know that the foot is actually screwed into metalwork, gives it more solidarity. Also make sure that you have enough wire to feed at least past this part here, because this is where a sensor will come at a later date. And as you can see, I've got loads of wire. Hopefully not too much. I hope that I don't have less wires up this side now because I've got too much here. Oops, sorry for knocking the camera there. But time will tell. If I have to unscrew it all again, I'll have to unscrew it all again. The next thing you do then is you just feed this part over, yeah, that's right, over the rest of it like this. Make sure that clips into place. Again, you know, that part needs to make sure all the wires are pushed down so they're not sticking out as much, but there's, sorry, you can't really see, but there is enough give so that it's not going to come loose. Oh, also make sure you slot this part in there as well. I don't think it matters which way around it goes because it does look symmetrical as long as it goes in at all. Come on. Fiddly little thing. It is this side, isn't it? Yeah, that side, that one's complete. Why can't I get that in there? Ah, I know why. Okay, so there's a little lip there, and that lip Okay, that lip goes on that side and then it all clips in there like that. Okay, so you'll have that sticking out, oops, like that when it's all done. And once again, just to finish off these screws, and there is only 5 left, so that is 4 and a spare, you screw into these 4 holes here to attach this foot in place. And when it's all done, it will look like that. And if I zoom all the way out, I say all the way out, let's see if I can angle up here, you'll see the full leg there. Now I am sorry this video has had some dodgy camera angles and some missing parts. You haven't seen it because I have been working and because I've been so concentrated on working, I've been less concentrating on filming. But it's the first time I've actually felt like I'm building a robot during this issue, which is very, very cool. All these wires sticking out really help. And this wire at the bottom. There is a lot of wheel showing at the bottom of this foot. I know that we're going to have like an extra piece here to kind of cover up all the insides and stuff, and I hope that it will only leave about that much. So time will tell. But I think you'll agree that an R2D2 leg looking like this is very, very cool indeed. I mean, I can't even get it all on camera. It's very cool. It looks great actually when I hold it from a distance. That looks fantastic. The only issue I have really is that slight hole there. I'm not sure if that'll be covered up. And there's another one there in there as well. But actually thinking about it, the leg on the real R2D2 moves up and down, so there will be a gap. So yeah, that's okay. I'll just work that out in my head. But yeah, it's looking great. It's really weighty. It's gorgeous. This could be just a display piece on its own. It's not going to be, of course, it's going to be attached to the rest of the robot. We've got that nice big box at the side of the leg coming soon. Yeah, very, very happy that I finally feel like I've completed something on R2D2. Very, very excited with that. Now, this wheel doesn't turn now because it is connected to the motor, so don't try and force it to roll it along because you will damage the motor if you do that. Just leave it be. I'm sure in time we will have power enough to test it and things like that. Actually, is there any connector on here? No, I can't see it. Maybe, if I connect this to the battery box now, maybe the motor will move. Shall I risk it? Yeah, I'm going to risk it. Let's give it a try. Doesn't do anything at the moment. Okay, I'm not going to... Oh, hold on. Here it is on. Right, I'm taking this out because I don't want to damage it. Okay, I really thought I could make the motor move, but I can't, and I'm getting a bit scared. I don't want to damage the motor or anything like that, especially after the projector and stuff I thought was broken last time. But yes, this is the end of the leg. In time, we will get it moving, I am sure. So I hope you will join me for that, whenever that will be. And stick around, because next week is more DeLorean, and then in 2 weeks' time, it's more leg of this R2D2 build. So until then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.